All right. So I got to click here to reconnect my destination. All right. I can do that. I can do that, I think. Click here to reconnect my destination. That's me. Allow right there. Right there. Hang tight, amigos. I just said it was me. You will be redirected to the stream. Okay. All right. Is it allowing me to do it? There we go. I got the green check. What up, man? Harry! Pulverizer! Que paso, everybody? It's your old buddy Josh. Yeah, old buddy Josh hanging out. Hear him scream, hear him shout. What's going on in Oklahoma? Pulverizer, where are you, by the way? New Mexico? I got a feeling Pulverizer's New Mexico. I'm predicting Pulverizer's in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's my prediction. Because that's where a lot of crazy people are. Hey, Mark P. Mark P in the house. Just listen to some Spirit. Hey, Brian Fly Fisherman. Carl's in the house. McAllen, Alabama. Irvin Michael, Louisiana. All right. Today's my birthday. Big 21, Harry. Big 21. You got your first legal beer. Drink up that beer. Right on, man. Happy birthday, Harry. I would sing happy birthday to you, but remember they used to do that stupid thing when you're washing your hands? Happy birthday to you. You're in New York City, Ted, visiting daughter. I'm a short timer tonight, off to Keen Steakhouse shortly. All right. We just got back from Ted's Montana Grill. It's all right. My wife loves it. I think it's okay. Had a New York strip, $33. Wasn't all that bag of chips, I'll tell you right now. Gregory's from Howard, South Dakota. Hey, what's up, man? What's up? I was like, I could have made that a hell of a lot better from doing myself. But my wife and I were fishing at Tannehill State Park. All right. Right on. You catch anything there, Carl? Catch anything? Anyway, so happy birthday. So Paul Francis, do you have any knowledge on some of the high yield weekly dividend? I don't have any knowledge or opinions on it. I think I'm looking at $70 for a steak tonight. Dude, crazy. And that was good, Brian. Yeah, I've had that a couple times since. I just marinate, not even marinate, just salt and pepper on it. Let it sit there for a little bit, and then and cook it just like that guy did. And it comes out great. I use a gas grill, but it came out just fine. So 100%. Have you ever watched Dr. Edward? Yeah, he's a Social Security PhD guy. I have. I've watched him one time. I know hard feelings towards the guy or anything. I just watched him once. What's your take on him there, Fast Eddie? You got Rosendale, Arkansas. We got Rosendale, Wisconsin. I turned 64. You've got John Benedict on Facebook. Right on, John. Appreciate any of my Facebook people showing up. Got 3 people on X, 1 person on Facebook, 6 on the Josh Scanlon YouTube channel. And if you're not subscribed to that, I would invite you to do that. And then we got what the rest are here, Heritage Wealth Planning. Only 3 more years ago to retirement, says Harry. Right on. Caught a big red ear sunfish and a baby trout instead of bluegills. Sounds smart and knowledgeable. Yeah, I just watched him one time, and I didn't get any over-the-top political stuff from him in terms of I'm anti-Trump or anything. I didn't get anything. I mean, I think he probably is, but I didn't get anything like, rah, 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 rah. I was like, okay, good. So, yeah, I just the only video I watched was that I just one from him, and I haven't watched since. I just don't want to watch. I don't watch a lot of financial stuff because most of it just pisses me off, and I feel like I need to comment. And I probably would help my channel if I did, but I do that on X and Facebook and LinkedIn. I comment, so I just got my own videos to do. But I don't like what's the word I'm looking for? Flaming other people's accounts. He's not all like me, Josh. Yeah. I mean, he seems like a decent enough man, decent enough fella. But I don't want to flame other people's accounts. And I think it's easy to go on other people's channels to flame them, and I don't want to do that. It bores me. Freedom Acres, hopefully the meeting in Alaska gets some results. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Did Freedom Acres say something about going to Alaska? I don't get it. Here's I Brum Leave, been retired, living every minute of it. Yeah, right on. Is the market up 17% year to date? Nah, dude, is it for real? No way. There's a S&P 500 up 17% year to date. I'm having ribeye on the grill tonight. Yeah, dude. Oh, Trump Putin. Okay, gotcha. Gates? A Gates? The gates of hell. The A gates of hell. Three of my kids are gonna go see that movie Weapons tonight. A ribeye. Now you should always go for New York Strip, everybody. New York Strip is better. All right, I'm gonna go get my hot tea. I'll be back. A gates, the gates of hell. I was actually just let me go get my. Hold on, so I'll be right back. An old man river. Old Man River. I think the S&P 500 is up about 9% this year. He might have been saying it since when it fell from the bottom to where it's at now. I just found a great name for a punk rock band because I said Chloe's watched some stupid vampire thing. I said vampires are real, and Chloe said Pablo's a vampire. I said Pablo's a snaggletooth vampire. So a good punk rock band would be Snaggletooth Vampire. Now that is freaking, dude. You need to send me a super chat for that, for real, because that is a great band name right there. Snaggletooth Vampire. That is like the best band name ever. Other than, what was that from? What was that movie called? Oh man, where Raleigh, the kid Raleigh, Diver Whippy kid. Loaded Diaper. Oh my goodness, Loaded Diaper. Yeah, I think Zelensky isn't relinquishing anything because, dude, have you seen the video of Zelensky dancing like the total fruit? It's the whole thing is just such a clown show. I mean, he's literally is obviously he's gay as a day's long, without question. And it's just like he's dancing around like what that guy's is like this tough guy from US. Crazy. Anyway, I want to start with this interesting comment or interesting article I've been reading, paper I've been reading. Aptly descriptive. Isn't that crazy, Ted? Snaggletooth Vampire because he just got one tooth. Dude, that's like, I'm just brilliant, man. Brilliant. Pearly yellows, brilliant. It's crazy. No one would come up with a name like that except for your old buddy Josh. Anyway, so I'm reading this article from 1977. Cash is good to eat. Self-sufficiency and exchange in the rural economy of the United States. And this is written by a guy, Michael Merrill, who I think he's a Marxist. And initially I thought, oh my goodness. The way people label themselves or get labeled just drives you up the wall. But he does quote Marx in here, which I think is pretty interesting because Karl Marx, I guarantee the left is crawling, or Karl Marx is turning over in his grave when he sees what's going on to the left, the modern left. Karl Marx said, every child know that a nation which ceased to work, I will not say for a year, but even for a few weeks, would perish. Every child knows, too, that the volume of products corresponding to the different needs require different and qualitatively determined amounts of total labor of society. So basically what he's saying there is he's saying if you don't work, essentially you don't eat because there's no interesting, Ted. Nothing revolutionary in there, just graph after graph. Kind of boring. So that's Karl Marx. A nation which ceases to work, I will not say for a year, but even for a few weeks would perish. That is freaking Karl Marx saying that. If you don't work, your nation falls. What's up, Aaron Brown? Aaron Brown. And I just like this idea that UBI and all this, that's not Marxist. That's freaking the anti-Marxist crap. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not a Karl Marx fan. No, I'm not. But I just sit there and think, you got to work. This whole thing, like, it's crazy. These socialists, what happened to the freaking left? That used to be for the working class. You know what I'm saying? The ostracized. Now they're just like bullies. It's actually sad, man. And I just find that Canada would fall shortly, 100%. It's crazy because you can only carry so many people for so long. Yeah, I saw that. Brewers are crushing. And that's just Karl Marx. I find that to be what happened to the left. It's like they went from like class conscious to like race conscious. It's the weirdest thing, and I can't stand the left because they're just so fake, so lazy, so spoiled, and I just please explain why portfolio states 17% and about S&P. I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't get it. Please explain. Who turned Marxist? That's what I'm saying. Karl Marx is saying right there, you got to work. You got to work. So I don't. It's just weird. Anyway, so something else was very interesting to me, and I put this, paraphrase it in terms of the free traders versus protection. So I've been getting a lot of fights online with all these free traders, and you're 10 minutes late there, big man. How dare you? Double dog. Anyway, so I've been fighting online with these free trader people that just don't know the history of. They just don't. They just they don't know what they're talking about. I hate to say it, and it's One second. Hey, what happened? Okay.
That just don't know the history.
Oops, 1 second. All right, there we go. And it's actually embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for these people. Anyway, so my man said, again, this is kind of a left-wing guy, but he says, it's necessary to think of the subsistence economy of early America as an independent and viable social form which tended to reproduce its own structure if left alone. The absence of commercial farming would then be explained by more than just the absence of the conditions favorable to such farming. It would be explained by the presence of traditions secure in their own rationality, which resisted commercial orientation. We especially need to avoid the reduction of different economic systems to personality differences. A subsistence farmer is as likely to be as conservative of soil and maximize output as is a commercial farmer. Enterprise neither had a monopoly on knowledge or willingness to work. Enterprise to one was avarice or avarice, I don't know how to pronounce it, avarice to the other. So enterprise, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to accomplish stuff, get money. To one is greed to the other, and is kind of what this guy is saying. Just as the inefficient allocation of labor, criticized by commercially minded reformers, which I call free traders, could be legitimately defended by subsistence farmers, what I call protectionists, as a requirement of independence. Two different ways of doing things, two different ways of life. I just find that I'm a struggle with the shingles. Oh yeah, the shingles sucks, dude. Oh man, hope you're doing all right. Yeah, shingles no joke, man. Shingles no joke. I don't trust any of the. Hey, look at my man here. 2 to 3 million acres of windmill leases canceled. That's great for the Northeast commercial fishermen that are very regular. Yeah, but unfortunately, you got your Governor Shills, Josh, who's making you pay freaking through the roof for your stupid electricity prices. Crazy. Here's Robin Lee. Single, 61, retired, fed, and military. All my incomes are TSP or taxable. Do you think I should take money from my TSP at 62 or go ahead and start Social Security? That's my dilemma. If I'm single, I'm taking Social Security early. I mean, that's just, you're not, especially if you got retired fed and you got retired military, you don't have to worry about Obamacare. And you're single, I would take. I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm just saying I mean, if I'm single and I'm 62 or about to turn 62 and I got Social Security, feds, and FERS, I'm taking Social Security at 62. Just freaking living it for sure. Yeah, shingles. I had shingles. I think that's what they told me. It sucked. I mean, but I had COVID. It sucked. I mean, I'm not getting the vax, but I mean, I had these things and they sucked, man. And no other way around it. And as such, as I don't wish that on people, that's for sure. But I'm certainly not going to get the vax, and that's okay if you do. I don't care. Just don't freaking force me to get crap. Damn, Banging is saying 5 to 5.5%. Is that what Ted? Is that what you found in his? I know Ted might not be here anymore. What's up, Dan? Yeah, I got very sick from vaccine, COVID singles vaccine, 100%. And arguing. Now they're trying to pin I guess what happened in Atlanta was a CDC thing. I don't know, but they're all like, "Oh, it's the anti-vaxxers making this guy kill this." This whole thing's so stupid. I just, I get so sick of just political neophytes. It's just like, oh, this guy was an anti-vaxxer and he went down to CDC to kill somebody. I'm like, oh, we're doing this? Are we actually doing this? I don't know if that's true or not. I can't take it. It's my cousin. I'm like, just stop. I just don't want to hear it. I sit there thinking, how many you guys want to put us in concentration camps? You wanted to put us in concentration camps, and you're sitting there saying we need to be better with our words. Screw that, dude. I don't need to be better with my words when people are actually saying we should be sent to concentration camps. So screw all that. No, I want a friggin' apology is what I want. Anyway, so that was pretty interesting. Anyway, so going back to what this says right here is, this is what I'd always say to all the free traders who say, they use David Ricardo, and I'll just cite you what David Ricardo says, literally, and that's the whole basis of free trade, comparative advantage, is this David Ricardian thing, and I'm going to share with you what he said here, if I can find my thing. And this is literally the basis of all free traders right here. And it's weird. It's like they never grow up. It's kind of funny actually, because they haven't had to, because the economics profession has been dominated by the University of Chicago types for literally, decades and decades and decades. It swings around. There's Marxists, don't get me wrong, but it swings around as the older people die off and young people get in. But it takes generations, literally generations, to change hats and that stuff, and not just economics, physics, the whole thing. It's just it's sad, but it's true. All right, so let me see if I can't find this David Ricardo quote, which I'll share with you here, if I can find it. No, it's not it. Where is it? Where did that Ricardo quote go? It's going to move kind of slow, and there it is. So David Ricardo says, under a system of perfectly free commerce, each country naturally devotes its capital and labor to such employment as it is most beneficial to each. The pursuit of individual advantage is admirably connected with the universal good of the whole. Again, under a system of perfectly free commerce, which we don't have and we've never had. That's what the free traders seem to miss that word there, perfectly. So anyway, going back to my man here, who says, just as the inefficient allocation of labor criticized by free traders, he doesn't say free traders, but I put it in there, could legitimately be defended by protectionists as a requirement of independence. And so these people I'm arguing with online, I'm like, dude, we don't produce our own large power transformers. We don't produce our own magnets. We don't produce many of our own semiconductors. We don't. It'd be good to produce these things because our economy is contingent on these things, without question. Now, we can argue all day long, should we put tariffs on coffee beans? I grant you. But I'm talking about things that make the economy run and keeps it from falling into North Korean death spiral. We need to be self-sufficient in these things, but it's going to raise the prices. Well, we don't have any evidence of that, but let's just say it did. That would be the cost of being independent and not relying on China or Germany or Russia. I don't care who it is. That would be the cost of independence, is that, hey, it might cost more stuff. Of course, we don't have evidence that that's true. Anecdotal evidence on occasion, I suppose, but we have evidence that it goes the other way too. So anyway, it's just funny because I'm arguing with these economists. I'm like, dude, you guys, it's like if you want to be an economist professor, you must check these boxes. And if you don't check these boxes, you can't, which is weird too, because how does the Marxist get in there? That's the thing. It's like you have to be a free trader or you can be a Marxist, but you can't be like a nationalist. That's the thing that's kind of funny to me. If you're an economic nationalist, you don't fit, because Marxism is commie term. Communist International is what that was, and they international communism or international globalism, as long as international, but you cannot be an economic nationalist to get a job in economics departments of any university. You can't. It's crazy, and they all suck. I freaking can't stand them all. Man. All the free traders, they suck. The freaking Marxists suck. It's just like, and just shows you international is running the world, and it's just not good. And that's not good for America. It's just not. I'm losing you. Okay. Don't lose me, hey Marie. Hey, they want to steal everything, and then they don't want criticized when they do it. 100%, man. 100%. We don't produce much of anything. Oh, we produce a lot. I mean, we don't produce much of anything the rest of the world can afford. Yeah, that's not true. We certainly they need our. We export a crap load of energy stuff. That's for sure, and that's good. That means we're becoming more and more self-sufficient energy. I was wondering why, and I saw this video very interesting about why we still import oil when we are self-sufficient oil. And the guy, and I haven't validated. I got a lot of oil men in my client list, and probably here too. He said because we don't light oil is what we manufacture, is what we produce in the United States. We don't mine heavy oil or something like that. I said, oh, that's interesting. So we have light oil, crude, but not heavy oil or something like that. And I said, oh, that's, and he said we could make the heavy oil into crude or something like that, but we don't have the set up the refineries to do that. Would not be worth the time and effort, especially under the model of Joe Biden. This is when Joe Biden was still in office, where he's trying to go to green. And he said no one's going to invest in a capacity to refine heavy oil into crude. Or something. It's like, wow. So he says it's cheaper and more efficient just to import it, even though we export. I thought that was very funny. I did not know that. I think we produce heavy oil, not light. I thought I might have said the other way. Refineries are set up for heavy crude. Yeah, so I think we import the heavy crude, and then the refiners make it to be light, right? But I completely could be screwing this up, but it's something about the right here. We got here's Jaime. Shale producers light sweet crude, but are structured for heavy sour crude. Yeah, something like that. So we light sweet crude, but are structured for heavy sour crude. And so we take the light sweet crude that we produce, it doesn't do something. So we have to get the heavy crude and it go to our refiners. That's my understanding. We don't have the refining facilities to do the whole, we produce tons of airplanes, 100%, Harry, 100%. We don't have the refining facilities for the shale stuff. Yeah, exactly. And so, Scott, Texas says, all right, see you, Ted. Most of the Gulf Coast refiners are set for heavy crude, mainly from Venezuela. Exactly. So we're getting the heavy crude from foreign countries, and we're producing or drilling our own crude, which is light. And I guess you need the heavy crude for, I forgot what he said. I had no clue. I thought it was very, very interesting about fact. The Cowboys. Greenies call heavy dirty oil. Interesting. Heavy. Okay, so basically, we import the heavy, refine it into light. It sounds like, and then we get our own light. The media in my blue state is crying about AI wants to use water to cool their computers. It's funny. I saw that in Maine too, Marie. Maine was bitching about the now blaming data centers, AI data centers, for the reason electricity prices are going so up. I said, oh, now Maine is saying it because it used to be, that we're going to electrify everything, heat pumps, electric vehicles in the state of Maine, and it's no problem at all. And I said, dude, you're going to add to the grid, you're going to add to the load, and you're going to reduce your generation. That's smart. And you can see this a mile away. So Maine electricity prices are went like 47% up or something like that. And they're trying to blame now the data centers. I said, man, you guys you freaking liberals, dude. You're just so dumb, so dumb. And we send a ton of refined diesel to Europe. Interesting. Canada is sending us heavy crude as well. Okay. And the reason we can't, we don't have in shale, you don't drill for heavy crude. That sounds like you were saying, Scott, that in shale you're getting light crude in the United States, and then we still need heavy crude for a reason to do something, and we got to import it from Canada, Mexico, and other places, in which we refine it into light crude. Is that my understanding? Alberta wants to join the U.S. Yeah, no, I was just going to talk about him too, Penelope. He said, Ted, and we send it. There was an argument that was their argument against Keystone Pipeline. It says heavy crude or dirty crude. I got you. Yeah, everybody talk about Ted now. Ted thought he went to the moon. Ted thought he was on the Apollo 11. Energy and water will only get worse as more. Yeah, 100%, dude. Is it crazy? Anyway, so I just thought that's pretty interesting about this guy right here. So something else I want to talk about. Yeah, I just got my basement back in order because we had a graduation party for my kids. We moved everything around, so I just finally got it back in order. So I'll do one next week for sure. Ted was there. He was also at Woodstock. Just asked him, was at Woodstock. He was actually at the crossing of the Delaware with Washington. You don't refine into light sweet crude. You just refine the heavy sour crude and various fuels and byproducts. Bunch of chemistry, whatnot. Gotcha. So do you refine the heavy into diesel? Is that what you do? And that's what we no, that wouldn't make sense, right? I'd say you refine it to diesel and then send it overseas. That wouldn't be imported from Canada, Venezuela, refine it to diesel and then send it to. That doesn't make sense. Hey, my man Jeremy, $100.99. I just added 2 zeros that Jeremy to make it $199. Refine it to both gasoline. Okay, gotcha. Interesting. Diesel and gasoline. So we take the heavy crude. I know this is elementary stuff, like, dude, can this guy just not stop talking about this? But you take the heavy crude, you refine it to gasoline and diesel, and then some of that diesel goes. Yeah, go Browns. Everyone's got their hero now. Shedeur Sanders. Oh my goodness, he's the best ever. I don't have any issue with Shedeur Sanders. I don't care, but I just find it funny. All the blacks and all the white wannabe blacks, like what's his name, Skip, whatever that clown's name, Skip Bayless. Like, I told you should drafted Shedeur Sanders #1. It's like, dude, one preseason game. Okay, I mean, look, I'm not. The Atlanta Falcons started some guy yesterday named Stick. I don't even know who the hell Stick is. Stick? Who the hell Stick? He did okay. He's the new savior. I heard the guy from the Heart that came from Mississippi, Jackson, whatever his name is. I think he did all right for the Giants or something like that. So we'll see. I just know we turned on the game last night. It's like freaking penalties everywhere. I don't know what CISSP stands for either. Penalty. I think it stands for C. I'm silly, stupid punk. See, I'm a silly, stupid punk. That's what it stands for, Penelope. See, I'm silly, stupid punk. What I'm saying. All right. Anyway, so I want to go over something else that I thought was pretty interesting. Then we'll see. I think someone asked me about Roth, what his young daughter should do. And I think, right here, Alberta produces a ton of light oil, which we're begging to get. Alberta wants to send to us, but it's being blocked by Carney. Yeah, dude, crazy. They suck. Okay. If you could pick 3 index funds and a bond fund, what would they be? Well, I just picked 2 funds. I'd pick the VTI and the BND. That's all you need, in my opinion. VTI and BND. Certified Information System Security Professional. I guess no one else here works in IT. No, because they all got laid off, man. They all got laid off. Everyone got laid off, man. All right. Anyway, so another thing I want to share with you guys. Share screen. Is right here. Length of stay at nursing homes. All right. I just want to show you this. This is from 2010, but it's using the HRS data that goes from 1992 to 2006. All right, so the HRS data, a nationally representative survey of U.S. adults age 50 and older, 1,800 nursing home residents who died between 1992 and 2006. So what the HRS is called a longitudinal data set. And what that means is they follow certain people throughout the time frames. They don't just have random samples. They say, Josh Scanlon, we're going to follow you from 1992 to 2006 or when you die. Right? Our primary outcome was length of stay, defined as the number of months between the nursing home admission and the date of death. Right? The mean age of decedents was 83 years old, and the majority were female. Median and mean length of stay prior to death was 5 months, was a median stay in the nursing home, and 13.7 months, which is the average stay. 53% died within 6 months of placement. Large differences in median stay were observed by gender, net worth. These differences persisted with adjustment for age, sex, marital status, blah, 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 blah. All right. Nursing home length stays are brief for the majority of decedents. Lengths of stay varied markedly by factors due to related to social support. So anyway, there are 1,800 nursing home residents that they followed from 1992 to 2006, and they all died in there. All right, this longitudinal study. Our primary outcome was the median age, right here, of decedents was basically died at 83 years old, and the median stay was 5 months. 5 months. Now, death has become institutionalized over the last 100 years. More and more people are dying in these facilities. This is in 2010. 25% in the nation occurred in nursing homes. Interesting. And of course, with Killer Cuomo and all the liberals, more than that happened for COVID. By the year 2020, an estimated 40% of Americans will die in nursing homes. I can almost assure you that happened in 2020 because of Killer Cuomo. All right. Hey, Clint, I'm 66 and going strong with issues. Thanks for the money, buddy. Appreciate it. Always got to give Clint his due because he's always paying me money. Dude, AI is really stupid. I was listening. It was Claude. I said, dude, what do you? I was like, this is wrong. This is blatantly wrong. And Claude wrote back, so, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I screwed that up. And, here's the answer that you were looking for. I said, this isn't wrong, too. He goes, oh, I'm sorry. I screwed that one up, too. But I was like, dude, what the hell? It was not even, it was like 180 degree incorrect. They're like, oh, yeah, sorry about that. I apologize. I said, you screw that. That's crazy. My man, Jeremy, right here. $5. Thanks, Jeremy. My uncle lasted 70 plus years. I think they took pretty good care of him. Yeah. They took our jobs. My wife's mother lived in a nursing home for 25 years. Damn, dude. SMRT. I'm so smart. Oh, my man, Karsten. Loving retirement. Thanks for your support. Look forward to our yearly checkup. Thanks, man. You are Wilson, Beverly, I are blessed. So we're all blessed, that's for sure. We're blessed, each and every one, but I appreciate that, Carson. R.I.P. Ozzy. Yeah, man. Anyway, so I just thought that was pretty interesting. And then along these lines there, while the proportion of overall deaths located in nursing homes has been well described, lengths of stays in nursing homes at the end of life have received little attention. Exactly. Yep. And so we're just going to come on all the way down. And you can see average, age at placement right there, 83 years old. So they were 83 years old when they're put in the nursing home. All right there. And that's what that means. So and you can see the net worth and all this stuff right here. Chronic diseases. Look at this. I want to say hypertension right there. The largest by far disease. Hypertension, a lot of that's overlapped with heart disease too. I wonder if there's anything you can do about that. Yeah, go for a walk. Number of chronic diseases. I mean, look at this. 2, 3, 4. Crazy. Let's see. Decedents, remember, they were the average age of when they're put into the nursing home is 83 years old. All right, these people died in there, by the way. Decedents' lengths of stay in nursing homes at the end of life are illustrated in figure one, in the figure. The mean length was the average stay was 13 months. However, this was explained by a relatively small number of subjects with long lengths of stay, as a couple of people just said. I think Pulverizer says 7 years, and I think Fast A said 25 years. All right, so the averages get skewed towards the outlier. The median length of stay was only 5 months. The majority of residents had short stays. 65% of decedents had lengths of stay of less than 1 year, and 53% died within 6 months. All right. So again, this is a longitudinal study where they're watching the people over, the time frame from when they got put in and then they died in there. Isn't that crazy? Very interesting. And so a lot of anyway, you can see right here. Hold on a second. Just want to kind of scroll down. So lots of good stuff in that regard in terms of, we're all going to die in a nursing home and I'll run out of money. It's just the evidence isn't there for that. Warner Robins, Georgia. I do need your locals' money. I need so much. Hey, my man. 399 super sticker. Right on. Hello from Warner Robins. Had Blue Cross for a long time. Got to have to talk with people in India. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. All right, so I was looking at that. So then I want to show you something else here, which is pretty interesting. If I can find it. If I can find it. If I can find it. What do I want to show you? Where's I looking at here? If I can find what I'm looking for. All right here. All right. There. All right. This is interesting. So we got seems to me that DRs are the DRs are authorizing hospice more, so no nursing homes. What's the doctors are authorizing hospice? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, Penelope? Doctors are authorizing hospice more, so not as many nursing homes. You're probably right. Most people want to die at home for sure. I mean, I think the vast majority of it. Anyway, so just another thing here was kind of interesting. Share screen. We got right there facts and figures. I thought this is pretty interesting. So this is from the National Center for Assisted Living. So this is a little bit different than nursing homes, but you got 1 million residents nationwide. 1 million residents, all right? And the age is, you can see right here, 6% were 65 and under. So that means 94% were 65 and older. All right, so you got 1 million people in assisted living facilities, not nursing homes. Nursing homes are roughly about the same, actually. So we got about 2 million people in nursing homes and assisted living facilities, and the vast majority are over the age of 65. There are 65 million seniors right now. 65 million are over the age of 65. So you take your I forgot, I had written it down someplace, but I forgot where. Well, maybe I have it on my. I do have that. You got it right here. So you have about 2 to 2.5 million people in nursing homes and assisted living facilities. All right. Now that does not include in-home healthcare, which we'll talk about here in just a second. And so we got. What was I getting ready to say? 2 to 2.5 million people in nursing home assisted living facilities, and then you take 2.5 million people, divide by 65 million. You got a 4% population that is in nursing homes and assisted living facilities. Now, let's just do a median length of stay of, we'll just say a year, which is too high. Even if it costs you $100,000 a year, the median length of stay. So 4% of the population is going to these places. The median length of stay, we'll just say a year. It costs $100,000. Is that going to sink the ship? I don't think so. I don't think so. And now you got in-home healthcare. There's about 12 million people who receive some sort of in-home healthcare. A significant amount of those 12 million people aren't paying for it. They just get it from their mom or Penelope or something like that. Or not their mom, their daughter. Penelope's coming in, a neighbor or something like that. Well, let's just say the ones that do pay, we'll just say the ones on average is $65,000 a year. Well, that's 6 million people. All right, that's less than 10% of the population pays a significant amount for in-home healthcare at $65,000 a pop. So again, we're looking at about 8 to 10% of the total 65-year-old group that's actually getting any kind of paid services at all. And the vast majority of those people getting that paid services aren't paying very much, aren't getting the service very long. And then finally, on top of this, I show my book, which will be done here shortly. I keep saying that, but it will be. I show right here. I used to love USC, man. USC used to love them. Charles White and Marcus Allen, Vince Evans. Loved USC. I love for football go back to freaking running the ball. I love running the ball. All right, so I just want to show you here from my book. So who actually ends up paying All right, so you see right here. If we add up all these people, we'd have 8 million people paying for some type of long-term care, or 12% of the over 65 population. No doubt, you're thinking that if you're one of the ones that do, it bankrupt you. Well, the image below shows that Medicaid and Medicare pay the vast majority of long-term care expenses. 57% paid by Medicaid, 14% paid by Medicare. That's 71% right there, just paid by Medicare and Medicaid. 29% are paid from private insurance plans, other payers, and private individuals. All right, so of the amount of money being spent, less than a third is being paid by individuals out of pocket. I would venture that new nursing home stats are rather short-lived. As long as their mind is intact, dementia can give many years of life in a vegetative state. Yeah, what I'm saying. I don't get it. I'd venture that rather short-lived. New nursing home stats are rather short-lived. That's what a nursing home is. It's called a skilled care facility. So a skilled care facility is part of a nursing home, just FYI. So assisted living is more just assistance with activities of daily living. Nursing home skilled care is where you literally need, you don't have the mental. That's where my mom is. She's in a skilled care facility. That's where she is right now. So I just find that very interesting because people like literally flip out. They say, "Oh man!" And so like activities of daily living. The 6 are bathing, transferring, dressing, eating, toileting, and walking. And the bathing is the one that needs the most help with. Believe it or not, I need someone to freaking wipe to wash my private parts. Again, Alzheimer's, high blood pressure is the number one cause of why people are in these places. I would actually attribute that to obesity, frankly, but who am I? I'm just your old buddy Josh. I don't know what kind of degree do you have, Josh? Yeah, and then we see the home health care, homemaker services is $75,000 a year. That's the profile of the median cost of long-term care in the nation. For home health care is $75,000. Adult daycare is $28,000. Assisted living community is $64,000. Private room is $127,000. That's the median in 2024. But again, and that's true. No one's saying they're not cheap, but what's the likelihood that you go in there? What's the likelihood that you stay there for 7 or 25 years? It's just not very high. And as such, what's the likelihood that you actually pay for it out of pocket? Not very high. If a nursing home care is so short, why do people still insist on that? Because it's insurance, like anything. I mean, you're always insuring against a catastrophic risk. I mean, I'm not trying to deny that these things happen. I'm not. My mom's in a place right now; she will definitely run out of money. Then Medicaid will kick in for sure. What I am trying to say is, at the end of the day, don't let it dissuade you from retiring because of the nursing home stuff, because that's just silly. So anyway, you buy insurance for any protection against catastrophic events. The black swan. You buy insurance so your house doesn't burn down. You buy insurance so you don't get killed, by a freaking crazy liberal. You know what I'm saying? You just buy insurance to cover all that stuff. And they just, and frankly, just like Penelope's saying, they don't understand the actual metrics that are behind this, because they're just sold a bill of goods by a lot of bad people who just don't know how they're talking about. They hear the average stay is. So here's what they'll do, man. They'll say, hey, the average stay is, we'll say simply 2 years and $100,000 a year. So it's, that's $200,000, and oh my goodness, that's $200,000. And they'll say 52% of Americans need some sort of long-term care. All right, so the average stay in a private room is $100,000. 52% of Americans need some sort of long-term care, and they assume that 52% or the 52% are paying $100,000 for their private room in a nursing home. But long-term care consists of nursing homes, assisted living, and in-home health care. And in-home health care also means that you have someone, your sister, your friggin' daughter, who can come and help you bathe you, stuff like that. See what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of that assumption about that cost just is not applicable, and we can see by the median out-of-pocket costs that people pay for these nursing homes. But they don't hear that. They hear 52% will need some form of nursing home care, and thus they equate that to $100,000 a year. It's not good. What year did you start getting the long-term care? Oh, you're talking about your mom has dementia. No, actually, she just can't move. She can't toilet. She can't move. But the interesting thing is she she's one of the only 3 people in her wing of 15 or so that has her facilities. She can't walk, she can't do any of that, but she has her facilities. So the other, only 2 other people know what they're talking about, Scott. Harry, yeah, but he pays $1,100 a year for both. So Harry would be stupid to drop this for sure. $1,100 a year for both because look at that. You're never going to see that again. He's had it since 2002, right? So he bought that many, many moons ago. I used to sell these policies. Was it Genworth? I can't remember. Back in the early aughts, same kind of thing. You buy these because they didn't price them correctly. You'd have these freaking low premiums with like 5 years compounding. It was insane, man. It was insane. And there was another one, Penn Treaty. There was another company that went bankrupt because they were just paid. I had a client, I'll never forget this guy, same thing. He had a policy like Harry did, but he had like a lifetime compounding. He was paying hardly anything for it. And I said, there's no way. And even back then, I said, there's no way this company can stay. There's just no way. And sure enough, the company went out of business, but other insurance companies took it over. But yeah, man, this is crazy. So for Harry having that right there, you're never going to see that again. Those days are long gone. So Harry would be foolish to drop that. He knows he won't because it's insanely cheap. And I can't remember off the top of my head what the coverage is, but that's you got it when he's young. I got mine when I was young, but mine's not nearly as cheap as his. Your mom has dementia symptoms? No, she doesn't. She doesn't actually. Yeah, most people don't understand not just Medicare, but they. Well, that's not what Penelope is saying. Actually, most people don't understand Medicare is not going to pay for care at home. We know Medicare pays for the first 90 days, and then they'll pay 10 days after that or something like that. Penelope was saying they don't understand how short their stay is going to be, is what she's saying. Oh yeah, dude, this is too cheap to get rid of 100%. No, it's incredible. They price themselves way out of them. It's just this. There's too many unknowns. They can't. The insurance company's got to make a profit. They just can't. So I find it funny. Anyway, so remember, Medicaid is the biggest payer of healthcare, long-term care services. Remember, long-term care again, in-home. It consists of 3 things, right? In-home healthcare. Medicare pays 20 days? That what you're saying? Medicare pays 20 days. I thought it was like 90, and they pay like a portion of the next 10 or something like that. I forgot, but yeah, my mom and dad's long-term care policy really paid. Yeah, I have a client who I'll never forget. She was in South Carolina. Her husband was there for 6 years in a South Carolina place, and they paid $6,000 a month for 6 years or something like that. And it was and he survived. He survived. Then he died like in year 7 or year 8. I think she had 18 months she had to pay for it. So I think it cost her like $150,000 all said and done. It sucked, but she had 6 years that the long-term care company was paying for. Now again, this is not to say, hey, don't get long-term care insurance, or not to say this will never happen. I'm just saying at the end of the day, people have this way over the top worry about then day 21 they pay a larger portion of the daily rate. Then they pay a larger portion. Okay, so you're saying Medicare will cover you for 20 days, and day 21, you pay a larger portion. I thought it was day 91 for some reason. I might be wrong. All right. I have a 1.5 million, 57, 180 mortgage. I want out. How the hell do I do it? You want out of what? Your mortgage? I don't get what you're saying. Correct that Medicare will pay 90 days or just 20 days, and then they'll pay a significant. Then you basically take on the bunch. I got 90 days in my head. I don't quote. I don't quote me on any of this. I'm just not, and I'm not here at all to tell people not to be worried about long-term care costs. I'm saying long-term care costs are 3 issues. You got nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and in-home healthcare. And the likelihood of many people spending significant amount of money on long-term care costs is just not high. It's just not high enough to get people like my man Scott here, who says, and I don't know how much Scott spends. He might be addicted to Coke. I don't know. But for Scott to say, I can't retire because long-term care costs, I said, come on, man. Come on. Out of the workforce. Well, you just got to figure out what your expenses are, Scott. Literally. All right. So, guys, My man Scott's got 1.5 million in retirement assets. He's still got a mortgage. No big deal. Scott's just got to figure out what his expenses are. It's just, I don't care how much you got. Look at Aaron Brown crushing. Right on, Aaron. That's why you put your money in the coffee cans and bury them in the backyard. The government can't get it, or the nursing homes. Yeah. And then you're going to lose it all because of, oh my goodness, inflation, which you will. You'll lose your money because of inflation. These idiots. I couldn't believe the guy from creative planning posted this the other day. It's like, over the last 20 years, your dollar has been devalued by blah, 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 blah. It's like, only people have lost their dollar value as the people put it in coffee cans and buried in the backyard. Come on, man. What's the guy's name? Peter Malik. I was like, come on, dude. It's not, it's just, no one's putting in look, I got some cash. I get you, but no one's putting $50,000 in a freaking coffee can and burying in the freaking outside. It's just not doing it. So the idea that your dollar has been devalued, as if you're just sitting there like, you just put in T-bills and you're keeping up with inflation. That drives me up the wall. Day 21. Okay, so Medicare will pay 20 days. I actually have this thing on Medicare. I used to be licensed and all this stuff, new recipe marathoners, believe it or not. I was never all that interested in the healthcare aspect of it, which I should have been more. I used to sell long-term care. I didn't sell a whole lot of policies. I always liked the Money Guard. I forgot what it's called, by Lincoln. They still have these kind of policies where you drop like $100,000 in. Yeah, right on. If you got dementia, forget what. Hell, you didn't have to have dementia. I'd forget where it is. Anyway, but it's all about expense. Anyway, so I get these. I used to sign up for this every 2 years. I'll sign up for this Medicare stuff on horse's mouth special report. And the reason I do it is simply because I need the CE for it by CFP, and it bores the hell out of me. That's why you got to talk to a broker on this stuff. Don't talk to me. I could, you want a Plan G. You want a supplemental policy? Absolutely. I got no problem saying that. I get this. I get how it works, but in terms of like the specifics of Medicare, nada. But I do know Medicare does not cover long-term care costs, except for like this guy was saying, 20 Lincoln Money Guard. Yep. Oh man, Lincoln Money Guard 2 isn't as good as back now. Is anything that good as it used to be? Jeez. I had a neighbor once who found the previous owner's pot of gold buried in the driveway at $700. Hey, Jen. What state you in, Jen? I get my pension when I turn 51, projected to be $62,000 a year. I want to retire and 72T my 401k till Social Security. Again, if we don't know our expenses, though, we got to know our expenses, because 72T is a very specific number, and if that plus your pension, let's just for simplicity say your 72T is going to give you $25,000 a year, and your pension $62,000 a year. Even this lump of coal can figure out that's $87,000 a year of income. Is that going to be enough to cover you? Yada 312. If not, then you got to think what you're going to do for sure. It's all about expenses. And this is the thing that drives me. I got $1.5 million. Not my man Scott, but because Scott's been around. So I'm not hitting on you, Scott, or bashing on you. But I hear this all the time. There's nothing to do with Scott. I say, I got $1.5 million. Can I retire? I have no clue. If you spend $1.5 million, no. If you spend $1, sure. So it's always about the expenses. You get, 100%. Don't forget taxes. Washington. Yeah, all right. Looks like she's punching me in the face right there. And Jen in Washington. Why you got new recipe marathoners? What's the genesis of that? Vanguard short-term tips better than cash in a Folgers can. Yeah, exactly 100%. That's right. You can get Vanguard short-term tips to get a stock certificate. Yes, exactly. Got a neighbor. We already talked about that. All right. I never found money, but I did find a big box of nudie magazines and a wasp nest in the attic when I bought my house. Oh man, dude, those nudie magazines probably worth something, dude. You know what I'm saying? They'll probably worth something. So you should save them. I literally do. I just these old baseball cards and all kinds of old stuff is worth something. It's crazy. I guarantee there's a market for the nudie magazines guaranteed. I mean, look, there's a reason why porn is like the number one search, whatever it is, Pornhub, I don't know what the hell. It's one of the number one search things, or the number one most viewed website out there. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's a reason why the freaking the powers that be want everybody addicted to porn and gambling. If they get them addicted to porn and gambling, we will do what they say. Were they laminated? Oh my god, the wasp. Oh, that is funny. The wasp regarding the mags and Fast A says were they laminated? That is funny. I've seen the government was thinking about raising Social Security. I mean, I've heard a million things on that. I haven't seen that the government was thinking about it. I'd like to know more. I mean, I've seen a million different. I did a video just on this with my man Aaron Biggs video that he did, or an article he posted the other day. I didn't see anything specific coming from the government. Well, who is the government? You know, I mean, I'd like to know more. He still has these nudie magazines, by the way. Nothing wrong with that, dude. Nothing wrong with it. You do you. I think you can hear about anything now about the FIA 100%. Absolutely. Summer's almost over, brah. I was out day drinking today, and preseason football's on. Time flies, and get dude 100%. That's why I was, dude, 100%. Because I was telling my wife, said we only got, you know, because I love Maine in the fall. I only got probably 20 more times to go to the fall in Maine. That's it. I don't think I'll be beyond 80 in this world. You know what I'm saying? So I got 55. I got 20 to 25 more times. Actually, I won't even say. To be perfectly honest, though, I probably won't even have 20, 25, because as you get older, you're probably not going to be able to do that. Since women live 2 years longer than men, they should have to wait 2 years longer to collect Social Security. Would that correct the problem? Yeah, but the women lobby will scream bloody murder. You know what I'm saying? And this is one of the fun things I always chuckle about the trans community. I'm a trans. All right, so you want to when you file for your Social Security, when you file for your pension, because you know annuities and pension are based on life expectancy. Life expectancy for women are longer, so they pay less. So you're a trans woman. When you file for a pension, are you going to file as a man or a woman? And you know they're going to file as a man because they get paid more. It's just crazy. We can all meet up in Maine. Yeah, we don't. Us Mainers don't like your kind up there, brother. Hey, stay in South Dakota. Huh? Hey, wow. Yeah, there's going to be 20 smackaroonies. Oh. No debt and wife wants to keep working. I just talked to people just 3 days ago, and I told them they're both voluntarily employed. They don't have to keep working, but she likes her job. She's like, no, I like it. I think she was 52 or 53 or something like that. And I say, you don't have to. But she goes, no, I give some out, but I get rewarded, not financially because she's not making that much money, but she likes it. I said, okay. And I told her husband, I said, what are you going to do when, you know, she's still freaking digging the ditches and you're just sitting around? He goes, I know, it makes me uncomfortable. I said, yeah, but at least you know now that, you know, I've given her the blessing. I bless her, my son or whatever, that she can quit. If she don't want to, it's on her. And he said, yeah, I get it. So, because he's ready to hang it up. I said, she can too, but, you know, she likes it. I said, yeah, we'll just let her keep doing it. And, you know, when she's away, the mice will play. So anyway, but the nice, since the thing is, though, is that if she, like, I was just talking to my wife, we went to dinner tonight, and she goes, you know, I like what I do. I mean, you know, she has crazy stories. She's a data clerk, registering students in one of our public schools here in Fulton County, and she crushes. My wife's a legend. Anyway, she's like, I can do it for another 5 years easy. I said, you do? You like getting up? I like getting up early, but you know, I get satisfaction. She don't get paid squat, but it covers the health insurance. I said, all right. If you want to keep, you know, again, she's not getting much in terms of salary, but you know, this health insurance is a big deal. So, well, if you want to keep doing it, more power to you. You know, you don't have to. I'm content. So, you know, people are content. That's the thing. When people are content, the one thing you don't want to do is take away the contentment into something that might not make them content, if that makes sense. I was just talking to a guy this morning because I work with clients on Saturday mornings too, just FYI. So if any of y'all are thinking, Josh, I can't meet your schedule, dude, I don't like working at night. You know, like this is the latest I want to do these things because I do get tired and kind of cranky at night. The mornings are my go time, but Saturday mornings I work this guy tonight and this morning, and just FYI. So I do work Saturdays, you know, Saturdays in the morning. I don't like working Saturday afternoons. But anyway, Saturday mornings, and this guy, what was I talking about? Oh, contentment. It's just like, dude, I'm just comfortable with my lot. I do not want to be one of those guys who looks at politics or MSNBC or Fox News and just, you know, starts throwing freaking Rotten Tomatoes at the TV because of what the guy's name, stupid Sean Hannity or stupid Lawrence O'Donnell. I don't know. He says, yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to be that guy because that's just dumb. Mainers don't like anything. That's true. They don't like anybody. That's true. Keep going to Crap Hill Georgia. Spend all day every day with Josh. Hard decision there for the miss. Now, ain't hard. She's like, oh, I like Josh's pearly yellows. I like his pearly yellows. She goes, hey. Maybe she just. Hold on a second. Hey, babe. So I was telling people you still like working, you don't mind and all that. Well, because somebody says maybe you don't like work, you just want time away from me. You think that's true? She said no, Penelope. Thank you. She said, oh boy, and then she goes, no. Penelope trying freaking, but now you make her think like maybe I do want time away from her. You want to jump on and show everybody you're real? I had her. What the hell's that? Is that Cav? Dude, I was like this close to having her on for an interview one time, like 3 years ago. This close. And something happened, and then the next day she goes, I don't want to do it. My mother used to call the Weather Channel old people's MTV. That's funny. Mainers are self-assured just because they know nothing and do not want to know anything, since they do not believe that anything can be known. Whoa, Harry, that's pretty philosophical, and I can't even, that makes my head hurt thinking about that. Mainers are self-assured just because they know nothing and do not want to know, and that's true. And since they do not believe that anything can be known, that's a good point. Yeah, Pablo's chilling with the mom. Happiness is an exclusive thing. Contentment is more 100%. My employer just switched to Roth option for deferred compensation. I have less than 5 years from retirement. Is it worth contributing to that? I also have a separate. Hard to say, man. Hard to say. But, I mean, it's still 5 years that you get that sucker to grow tax-free. So I don't know. Do not take this as advice. I don't know nothing about you. You're obviously a Cubs fan, so, you know, you probably are a bit light in the loafers, if you know what I'm saying. And yeah. But at the end of the day, my preference would be the Roth, but I know nothing about you, nothing at all, because you still got 5 years. So let's get some tax-free money growing for you for sure. But look, man, you do what you got to do. Because I'm not. Don't get me saying, hey, Josh told me to do this. I'm not. In fact, because I say you should do X, Y, Z, you should do ABC. Just FYI. Of course, that's what she's gonna say. What's Harry talking about? From War and Peace. Oh, is that from? Oh, man, Harry, you just had to get Chat G or an AI to tell you that, right? You didn't read War and Peace, did you? I'm scared to ever tackle that book, man. That just looks like a long ass book. And those older books, they're very wordy. I like it very. I don't like that kind of reading. I like it very short. It's like a John Grisham or something like that. You can read it very quick and easily. I am reading a book called right now. It's actually pretty interesting. I didn't like it at first, but it's called The Brothers K, and it's about this guy. I like baseball books. You know, Brothers. Not Brothers Kazmarov or whatever it's called. The Brothers K, right there. Yeah, it's about baseball, but it's more than about baseball. It's very interesting. I'm enjoying it actually, and it's once in a great while, a writer comes along who can truly capture the dramas and passion of life in the family. This touching, uplifting novel spans decades of loyalty, anger, regret, and love in the lives of the Chance family. The fathers whose dreams of glory on a baseball field are shattered by a mill accident. A mother who clings obsessively to religion. 4 brothers who come of age during the seismic upheavals of the 60s. It's pretty good. I'm very much enjoying it, actually. So The Brothers K. That's what I'm reading right now. Harry reading War and Peace. My man AO123456 is reading girly magazines, and I'm reading The Brothers K. Big fan, love your content. How long do you plan to keep releasing these YouTube videos? Until the good Lord calls me home or YouTube bans me. So the next pandemic, I'll probably get banned because I was this close to getting banned last time. Was on my bucket list. Was it worth the time and effort, Harry? You don't want finish War and Peace. War and Peace finish you. You got Jen. Jen! I couldn't read it with Google. All right. I read the KJV Bible and the Lord of the Rings trilogy during the pandemic. Pretty much cooked my 2 brain cells. No big reading anymore. Yeah, the Bible's a tough read. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, you just don't understand it. It's tough, man. That's just a fact. And I read last year. I read the whole Bible front to back. That's just a fact to check. Now that was the NIV, so the KJV would be 20,000 million times. I didn't read the Amplified Bible. I read the NIV. The KJV would be insanely silly to read. By the way, Ulysses was the hardest book I ever read. Well, all right. That's all I had. I just want to chat with you guys. I'd rather carry that book around for a year in a backpack and I have to read it. You just want to put it under your car in case you roll forward. What's that book? There was a great book. It was, Gentleman in Moscow. I didn't like that, so I don't think that didn't do it. I've tried that a couple of times. It was looking so good. It didn't do much for me. The book on it was like a Russian. Oh man, it's like this vampire thing with Russia. Man, I can't remember what it's called. It was a great book. I enjoyed that immensely. Like going back to 1920s or something. It was fantastic. Chat GPT. Oh, by the way, Chat GPT 5 came out a few days ago. Apparently, it's much improved on financial advice. I don't use it yet, but apparently, if you were using it, it got rid of all your previous chats that you had without telling you. That's crazy. One of the beauty loggers said she was leaving YT and got a zillion comments. You might be able to pull off that scam and know she didn't leave 100%. Dude, I see all the time. Why are all these? I'm quitting YouTube. I'll never pull off that scam. I'll never pull off that scam because I like this. I like what I do. That's fun. This is my, what's the word I'm looking for? My catharsis for sure. Then I get to meet some pretty cool people. And then I get some paid by some people. It was $19.99 from Yauta 312. Jeremy paid me a couple bucks. Clint paid me $10. Someone else paid me some money. So, right here we got your old buddy Josh rolling this scratch here. Clint paid me 10. Concerned Citizens paid me 4. Yauta paid me 20. Jeremy paid me 5, 6. Man, look at that, 7. Dude, and I'm still waiting on my check from you, Penelope. You owe me, Penelope. You probably owe me like $5,000, man. Come on, where is it? KJV is an older KJB or KJV. I think is what you're saying. I don't know what the KJB is, but I think you mean KJV. No, we're not going to get into it. I call me Mr. Pink. No, we're going to call you something else if you know what I'm saying. There, pulverizer. We're going to call you something else you never tip. We know. Yeah, right on. Thanks, Dano. Yeah, exactly. Scotty Kilmer. Then Wrangler Star does the same thing all the time. It's like, dude, Wrangler Star. It's like all the time. You're like, oh, this is it for Wrangler Star, and it never is. This is killing my channel. Oh, I gotta watch that. It's like, okay, it's so funny, man. Checks in the mail. Many YouTubers went into it for money, not entertainment. Many sell out or shut down. Lots of shows on. Oh, I 100%. It's not good. It's not good. I don't want to get in a debate right now about the KJV, but maybe another day. No, I'm gonna get out of here. God bless. Thanks, guys. I can go finish watching. I'll finish watching that show, Animal Kingdom. I didn't think with Ellen Barkin. I don't think I like it, but I've enjoyed it. It's a little bit over the top. And if you're on my live stream on Wednesday, I said this, but it's just, it's a little bit not. You're like, come on. But it's just entertaining. I kind of enjoy it. So I'm going to go watch that. Later, y'all. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. God bless. All right.